Hello everyone. This game is called Column and Row. It's a take on the puzzle game where uh, we basically take a broader look in sum across rows and extend this to sum over columns and the sum of the product of items on rows and columns. So we're given a 4 by 4 matrix with random integer numbers that could be either positive or negative. 0 is not allowed. There are several goals that the player can choose from. One of them is to optimize the maximum sum of multiplication of any row and any column. In other words, the first item of the row multiplied by the first item of the column plus the second item of the row and the second item of the column and so on, make that maximal. Another option is to make that minimal. Remember, we do have negative numbers. More interestingly is the option to make this number be 0. In other words, the sum of those elements of rows and of the multiplication of the rows in the column of your choice would be 0. And another interesting option is to make a row basically a scaled version of a column. In other words, if we have a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, and a column that is 2, 6, 8, that is a scaled version of 1, 2, 3, 4. So a player has 50 moves. Once 50 steps, the results are called. A player can ask randomly to change the numerical number of any cell in the matrix, but that would cost them a turn. It's a single player game, and the player is allowed to move the numbers wherever they feel that they want, as long as that there's an empty spot to move it. Given a random 4 by 4, exploring options to optimize this and reach the optimized result. It's fun dealing with the randomness and calculating in your head quickly the product of these elements in those rows and vectors. I think that it would be probably appropriate for kids age 12 and above. I'm not sure that there exists such a similar product. It's a unique approach. It's a different approach to puzzle games that looks at sums, not just across rows, but also columns and the relationships between them. And the player should feel satisfied that they were able to deal with a random set of numbers and satisfy the requirement for optimization that they chose earlier. That is all.